Now for the tail, we're going to start with the red yarn and a magic circle. And we're going to start with the slip knot. And then 6 single crochet into the magic circle, just like we've done before. And then you're going to close the magic circle. And then you're going to make 2 single crochet in every stitch around until you have a total of 12 stitches in the round. Then you're going to slip stitch into the next stitch over, and then you're going to join your black colored yarn. So go ahead and chain 1, and then just take and tie a knot. And then you're going to make a chain of 14 using your black colored yarn. And you can go ahead and cut the red colored yarn at this time. And then you're going to take your crochet hook. After you finish your chain of 14, you're going to take your crochet hook, go into the second chain from the hook, bring up a loop, and then make a single crochet. And then you're going to make 1 single crochet into every stitch back across. This is how your work should look so far. Then you're going to make a single crochet onto the next stitch on your magic circle. So go into that next stitch and make a single crochet. Then you're going to chain 14 again. So go ahead and finish your chain of 14 again. And then you're going to make a single crochet into the second chain from the hook and 1 single crochet in every stitch back across, just like you did for the first one. And then when you finish your last single crochet, make a single crochet into the next stitch over. And then you're going to repeat this 1 more time. So chain 14 and then single crochet back, just like you did for the previous 2. Now you should have 3 of them, and then you can go ahead and slip stitch into the next stitch over, and then go ahead and finish off, just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to bury into your work. So now go ahead and bury all of your loose yarn ends. So you just take your tapestry needle, put it onto your loose yarn end, and then just weave it through the same colored yarn on the wrong side. So you just kind of weave it through the wrong side in the same color and then trim it. So go ahead and bury all of your loose yarn ends. Now you're going to take and add 3 pipe cleaners down the center of the magic circle. And if you need help getting the pipe cleaners through, you can use your tapestry needle. Just take and bring the needle in the center, and then you just take one of the pipe cleaners and go through the eye and kind of bend it, and then just bring it through. Just kind of jiggle it until you're able to bring it through, and then you can open it up. So go ahead and bring 3 pipe cleaners through the center, and then you're going to take your crochet hook and go into the stitch right before one of the black single crochet strips that you made. And you're going to join your red colored yarn, and then go ahead and tie a knot. And then I'm going to bury my loose yarn end as I crochet, and you're going to take and line up one of the pipe cleaners on top of the black strip along with your loose yarn end. And you're going to take your red colored yarn, your crochet hook, you're going to go into that first black stitch behind the chenille pipe and the loose yarn end. You're going to bring up a loop and then make a single crochet. And then you're going to make 1 single crochet into the next 7 stitches, and you're going behind the chenille pipe and the loose yarn end. Make sure that you pull on the chenille pipe so that it's the same length as the black strip. So there's my second. Third. Fourth. So go ahead, finish making 1 single crochet into 7 stitches, burying the loose yarn end and the chenille pipe. Then you're going to make 1 half double crochet into every stitch around until you're back on the opposite side. So you just yarn over, go into the next stitch, go behind the chenille and loose yarn end, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through all 3 for a half double crochet. So then you're just going to continue making 1 half double crochet in every stitch, going behind the chenille pipe and the loose yarn end. I like it better when the yarn pulls through the center, but this one is wrapped around, which kind of slows you down a little bit. So go ahead, continue making 1 half double crochet in every stitch. I'm going to go around this corner with you. Sometimes around the corner you can place 2 half double crochets into the same stitch. So here you can see I'm in a corner about to turn. So I'm going to place 2 into the same stitch. I'm still going behind my chenille pipe. I almost have it buried. Now it's buried. And then I'm going to go 1 on the tip. And then if anything protrudes, you can always trim it, but mine's buried pretty good. And then you're going to go right around the corner, and you're going to make 2 half double crochets into the corner stitch, and then continue making 1 half double crochet in each stitch until you're equal with where you made your half double crochets on the opposite side, and then you're going to switch back to a single crochet. And you're going to repeat this process with each of the black strips. So I'll get you started. So I have one more, and then I'm going to switch to single crochet. Make sure you don't twist your yarn with the other chenille pipes. So now I'm going to make one single crochet in each stitch until I reach the base again. So now I have the last stitch for the one black strip, and then I'm going to line up my next chenille pipe. So then when you reach the beginning of the next black strip, you just take your next pipe cleaner. Let me just make sure that okay, that one's already done. I'm going to pull it so it's the same size. So you just kind of measure it so that it's the same size as the black strip. And the reason why I like to add the pipe cleaner is because it gives a little bit of stability to the tail. So then once I'm happy with where the pipe cleaner is, I'm going to lay it on top of the black strip. I'm going to go into the next stitch of the black strip, go behind the pipe cleaner, bring up a loop, and then just make a single crochet. And then you're just going to repeat. You're going to make around one single crochet into 7 stitches, and then switch to half double crochet around the curve until you're on the opposite side, just like we did for the first one. And then make one single crochet into each of the remaining stitches. And you're going to repeat the same process with the third one too. So go ahead, finish making the tail feathers, and then come back. So this is the right side of the work where you have the fuzzy pipe cleaners going to the strips, and then of course where the pipe cleaners are protruding, these are going to go into the body of the bird. And so I just finished my last single crochet on my third strip. So then you're just going to make a slip stitch into the next stitch over. So just yarn over and pull the yarn through both loops on the hook. And then you're going to finish off. Just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to sew this piece onto the back of the bird. So now you're going to take your bird and you're going to turn it around towards the back, and you want to make sure that you line up the bird so that the tail is directly on the center and that it's at the bottom round. So this is how the bird will be sewn, the tail will be sewn on the back of the bird. So you want to make sure that it's centered, and then you can just see where the pipe cleaners will enter the body. So make sure it's lined up, and then once you're happy with where the tail is going to go, then you're just going to hold it in place at the bottom and then take the pipe cleaner and bring it through the body. And then just from the inside, just take and grab the pipe cleaner and pull it through. And you're going to do that with each of the pipe cleaners. So you have 3 of them, so I just go into the stitch next to it, or even into the same stitch. Either the stitch next to it or the same stitch, and just bring all of the pipe cleaners in towards the wrong side of the body. Then you're just going to take your tapestry needle and you're going to take and sew the tail in place. You can sew around the pipe cleaners on the inside, but just sew all along the base of the tail. And make sure that you leave the bottom stitch free, because we're going to be using the bottom stitch to finish closing the bird. So make sure that you don't sew the tail to that bottom stitch. So you just go in and out, just sewing the tail in place. And like I said before, leave that bottom row unworked. Don't sew the tail to it because we're going to close the body, finish closing the body using that last round. So on the inside, I'm just going to take and tie a knot with the chenille strips so that they're secure inside of the bird's body. And then just take and curl the chenille strip on itself. And then you can just take and put it right into the body of the bird. And then do that with each of the strips. Just curl it on itself. And that will help prevent the chenille strip from protruding from the bird's body. So just kind of curl it on itself. You have a nice little fuzzy loop that you'll put right into the bird's body. Then after you loop all of the chenille strips, you can take your tapestry needle and then you'll go right above the last row of the bird, because remember we're going to use that last row to finish closing the body. So just above that, and then just go across sewing the tail to the body. And then you can finish off, or not really finish off, but just tie a knot on the inside of the body, the wrong side. So just take and tie a knot. And then we're ready to close. You're going to go ahead and stuff the bird's body with inexpensive craft stuffing. Trying not to get in the way of the camera. And you could trim the loose yarn end. I'm going to trim mine. And then just tuck the loose yarn end in. And now you have your tail sewn in place. And we're ready to stuff and close the body. So after you place craft stuffing into your bird, go ahead and join your red colored yarn You're just going to bring up a loop and then chain one and then just tie a knot. You might have to move the claws forward so you don't scratch yourself. And then for the first decrease round, you're going to make one single crochet into 2 stitches, and like I said, you can move your claws as best as you can. You can always reshape them later so that they don't claw you. So there's 1 and then 2, and then you're going to make your decrease stitch. So you're going to go into the next stitch over, bring up a loop, and then go into the next stitch over and bring up a loop, and then yarn over and bring it through all three for a decreased stitch. And then you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around. Make one single crochet into 2 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the 3rd stitch, repeating that pattern all the way around back to where you started. Then this is how my work looks, and you can add craft stuffing as you close the bird if you need to. And at this point you may need a yarn marker. I'm going to go ahead and place one just in case. But usually you can tell by when you pass the feet. So now you're just going to make one single crochet in every stitch around for just one round. So one round of one single crochet in every stitch. So now you can take and get rid of your yarn marker, and now you're just going to make single crochet 2 stitches together, or decrease stitches, all the way around until you are almost closed. So just single crochet 2 stitches together all the way around until you're almost closed, and then come back. So now you can see that I'm almost closed. I already added a little bit more craft stuffing in mine. And then I'm going to slip stitch it closed. So you're going to skip a stitch and then go into the next stitch and then just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. And you're going to repeat that all the way around until the bottom of the bird is closed. So I'm going to make one more and then I'll be finished. One more slip stitch. And then I'm going to go ahead and finish off. So then you just yarn over and then pull enough yarn through to just bury into your work. And then you just cinch that knot down. And then you get your tapestry needle. And then just put the tapestry needle onto the loose yarn end. And then you're just going to go right through the bottom, right where you finished off, and come out anywhere on the body. And then just give it a gentle tug. And then you're just going to take and cut the loose yarn end. And then fluff out the bird. And then you can kind of straighten out the tail and the feet. You can see how the feet work really well for holding the bird up, which is what I want. And now I'm going to show you how to make the wings. So now you're going to set your bird aside for now while we make the wings. We're going to start with the magic circle. So this is the same thing that we've done before, the magic circle. And we're going to place 6 single crochet into the magic circle. So you just hold the base of the 6 single crochet and close it just like you did before. Remember, if it doesn't close, let go and pull on the other loop, and then just take the loose yarn in and pull on that. Then you're going to place 2 single crochet into every stitch around. So 2 single crochet in every stitch around, and that will leave you with a total stitch count of 12 in the round. So now you're going to take your hook, go into the next stitch over, and you're going to make a slip stitch. Just yarn over and pull the yarn through both loops on the hook. And then you're going to take your tan or gray colored yarn and you're going to bring up a loop, and then you're just going to tie a knot. And you're not going to cut the red colored yarn. You're going to crochet with both yarn colors. Accidentally flipped it. Get my red color again. And then just tie a knot. Then you're going to take both yarn colors, so make sure you have both your red and your tan or gray colored yarn. And then you're going to make a chain of 14. So just yarn over, turn the hook upside down. I have both yarn colors. I'm going to bring both yarn colors through the loop for 1, 2, 3, 4. So go ahead, finish making a chain of 14 and then come back. Then you're going to make a single crochet into the second chain from the hook. So you just bring up a loop with both colors and then yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through both loops for a single crochet. And you're going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch back across. So 1 single crochet in every stitch back across. And then come back. And then when you reach the circle again, you're going to make a single crochet into the next stitch over on the circle, just like we did for the tail. And then you're going to chain 14 again. Then you're going to make a single crochet into the second chain from the hook and then make 1 single crochet in every stitch back across, just like we did for the first one. And we're only going to make 2 of them with the chain 14. So now you should have 2 of them, and you'll make a single crochet onto the next stitch on the circle. And then for the third one, you're going to make a chain of 8. So now make a chain of 8. And then after you make your chain of 8, make a single crochet into the second chain from the hook. And then 1 single crochet into every stitch back across. And then you just make a single crochet into the magic circle, the next stitch. Then you can take and cut the tan or gray colored yarn only. We're going to crochet with the red color. So then you just tie a knot with the tan or the gray. In my case, I'm using the tan. And then you can bury the loose yarn end as you crochet, but you're going to turn your work so that your work is facing you like this. And then take the tan colored loose yarn end, we're going to crochet around it. And then you're going to go into the next stitch. And I'm going behind my loose yarn end, and I'm going to bring up a loop and make a single crochet with the red. And then I'm going to make a single crochet into the next 2 stitches. And then I'm going to make a half double crochet. So I'm going to yarn over, go into the next stitch behind my loose yarn end, bring up a loop, yarn over and go through all 3 for a half double crochet. And then I'm going to make a half double crochet into each of the stitches until I'm on the opposite side. So just like we did on the tail, you'll need a couple of half double crochets into the stitches around the top. I'm going to go ahead and cut my loose yarn end now. I buried it enough. So now I can make 2 half double crochets into the same stitch, 1 into the tip, and then 2 on the opposite side. And then that will make a nice curved look for the top of the wing. And then you just continue making a half double crochet into each stitch until you get close to the bottom, and then we're going to switch back to single crochet. So I'm going to make 2 more half double crochet, and then I'm going to switch to a single crochet. And you can see how it makes a little bit smaller towards the base, and then the half double crochet increases for the wing portion. And then you're just going to keep going, keep crocheting onto the next wing, or feather I should say, the next feather for the wing. And then you're going to make a single crochet into about 6 stitches before you switch to half double crochet around. So go ahead, finish making all of your feathers, and then come back. Then when you finish the last strip, you can make a slip stitch into the circle, the magic circle, the next stitch on the magic circle. Just yarn over and then pull the yarn through both loops. Then you can go ahead and finish off. Just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to sew the wing onto the bird. And you're going to need 2 of these. So go ahead and finish making 2 of the wings, and then just bury your loose yarn ends. Now your wing is ready to sew onto the bird. So you're going to take the right side, whatever side that you want showing, have it face towards you, and then you can take the strips, so this is the bottom strip of the feather, and then just kind of layer slightly the second feather on top of the first one, and then the little one on top of the middle one. And then you're going to take your tapestry needle and you're going to sew it onto the bird. So hold the feathers in position the way you want them, and then you're going to take your bird and then you're going to line up the magic circle portion of it onto the bird. So I usually use the black portion on the face to line it up, and I'm going to go about 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds down, and then I'm lining up the tip of the magic circle on the wing with an imaginary line from the black portion, if you like how mine's lined up. And then I have the wings spread back like that. So then you just take and sew the wing in place, and then I don't sew down the feathers, I let them be free, but you can sew down the if you want to hold the feathers on top of the other feathers, then you would sew it down closer to the bird. This is how my feathers look when I sewed them on. You can see how I left the flaps open, the feathers open. And then you just sew on the other wing the same way. Just make sure that your wings are symmetrical when you sew them on. Sew them in place. And also make sure that the smaller strip is on top when you sew it in place. And this is what the wing looks like on one side, and then this is what it looks like on the other side, and this is what it looks like on the back. You have the tail feathers. And then in the front you could see that they're symmetrical too and even. And now we're ready to make the stand. Now for the stand, you're going to start it the same way with the magic circle. So you just drape the yarn across your 4 fingers. Use your thumb to stabilize. Wrap the yarn around your 2 middle fingers and hold it in place with your pinky and your thumb. And then you take your 6.5 millimeter crochet hook, go under those 2 loops, bring up a loop, yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through the loop for a slip knot. And then you're going to make 6 single crochet into the magic circle. So 6 single crochet into the magic circle. And the reason why I like to use my larger crochet hook is because it will make the crocheting time a lot faster. And you don't have to do as many increase rounds to make it larger. You could use your smaller crochet hook if you wanted to. You would just make more increase rounds, and I'm going to be showing you how to make the increase rounds. So now we're going to increase the number of stitches to 12. So you're going to make 2 single crochet into every stitch around until you have a total of 12 stitches in the round. So 2 single crochet in every stitch around. And then just get your yarn marker, place it right where you left off. And then for the next increase round, you're going to make 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and then 2 single crochet into the second stitch. And you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. So 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and then 2 single crochet into the second stitch. And then just repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Now you should have 18 total stitches in the round. So I'm not going to give you the stitch count now, because to get the next round's stitch count, just add 6 to your last round. So we just finished 18. So if you add 6 to 18, we'll have 24 stitches after our next increase round. So go ahead, take your yarn marker, move it up, and your next increase round is going to be 1 single crochet into 2 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the third stitch. And then you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker, 1 single crochet into 2 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the third stitch, and repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Then the next increase round is 1 single crochet into 3 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the fourth stitch. So now you can see how we're making the increase rounds. We're going in order. We had 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochet in the second stitch, 1 single crochet in 2, 1 single crochet in 3, and now you're at 1 single crochet into 4, and then 2 single crochet into the fifth stitch. And you're going to keep increasing until you have 1 single crochet into 8 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the 9th stitch. So now I just finished 1 single crochet into 8 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the 9th stitch. And this is how big mine is. If you want to go larger, you can. You can just keep going, like 1 single crochet into 9 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the 10th stitch, and so on. But I'm going to stop at 1 single crochet in 8 stitches and 2 single crochet into the 9th stitch. And then I'm going to remove my yarn marker, and I'm going to make a slip stitch into the next stitch over. So you just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook. Then we're going to make a little cute shell border. So you're just going to chain 1, and then make a single crochet into the next stitch over. Then you're going to make a half double crochet into the same stitch. So just yarn over, go into the same stitch, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through all 3 for a half double crochet. Then we're going to make a double crochet into the same stitch. So just yarn over, go into the same stitch, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through 2, then yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through 2. Then you're going to make a half double crochet into the same stitch, yarn over, go into the same stitch, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through all 3 for a half double crochet. Then make a single crochet into the next stitch over, and then you have your little shell. You're going to make another single crochet into the next stitch over, and then you're going to make your shell. So you're going to make a half double crochet into the same stitch, then you're going to make a double crochet into the same stitch, and then you're going to make a half double crochet into the same stitch. Then you're going to make a single crochet into the next stitch, a single crochet into the next stitch, and then repeat. You're going to make this cute little shell border. So I'm going to make one more shell with you, half double crochet into the same stitch, double crochet into the same stitch, half double crochet into the same stitch, and then single crochet into the next stitch, and then single crochet into the next stitch and make your shell. So go ahead, finish repeating that pattern all the way around. So I just finished my last shell, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the next stitch over to finish, and then I'm going to finish off, just yarn over and just pull enough yarn through to bury into your work, and then cinch that knot down, and then your stand is finished. Just smooth out the shells, and then we're going to create the log that goes in the center, but on the back go ahead and bury your loose yarn ends. So now you can set your white portion, the white stand, aside for now, and then take your brown colored yarn for the log. You're going to start with the magic circle again, and then you're going to switch back to your 3.75 millimeter crochet hook, and then just take and bring up a loop for your slip knot, and then you're going to make 6 single crochet into the magic circle. And then you're just going to close up the magic circle, and then you're going to make 2 single crochet into every stitch around until you have a total of 12 stitches in the round. So 2 single crochet in every stitch around. Then you can take and close the center of the magic circle if you need to, and then you're going to get your yarn marker and place it right where you left off, and then you're just going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch around until you have the length that you want for your log. So 1 single crochet in every stitch around. So for mine, I made a total of 14 rounds. Then you can remove your yarn marker and then just place craft stuffing inside. And then you're just going to take and slip stitch it closed. I mean, not slip stitch it, but single crochet 2 stitches together, or make decrease stitches all the way around, and then you're going to slip stitch it closed. So I'm going to make 1 more, and then I'll show you how to slip stitch it closed. So now you're going to skip a stitch, go into the next stitch, yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through both loops for a slip stitch. And you're just going to keep slip stitching until your log is closed. Then you're going to go ahead and finish off. Just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to sew your log onto the stand. And then we're going to make one more log for the branch. It's going to stem off of the branch. So we're going to start with a magic circle again. I just set my one log aside. So we're going to start the same way. Start with a slip stitch and then 6 single crochet. And then go ahead and close it the same way. And then this time we're only going to keep 6 single crochet in the round, or 6 stitches in the round. So you're only going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch around. Now as you make your stitches, you want to kind of turn the work so that the loose yarn end is on the inside of the work. And you can pull on the loose yarn end too if you need to close the center of the magic circle. But then you just keep making 1 single crochet in every stitch around until you have the length that you want for your branch. Now this is the branch that will hold your holly or mistletoe. I have a separate video tutorial that shows you how to make the mistletoe or the holly that you're going to put onto this branch. So go ahead, keep making 1 single crochet in every stitch around, and you're maintaining your 6 stitch count in the round until you have the length that you want for your branch. So for mine, I made approximately 4 rounds, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the next stitch over, and then I'm going to go ahead and finish off. Just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to sew this little branch onto the log, or the other branch, the larger branch, and then you're just going to take and sew it onto the end with your tapestry needle. So you just take and place it, and I did it on the same end that I finished off, and then you just kind of sew it in place. And this is where you're going to sew the little mistletoe on, and then just sew all around the base of the little branch, securing it onto the larger branch or log. Then I just took and tied a knot. And then you can take and bury the loose yarn end into the branch. Just go right down the center if you want to, or just bury it anywhere. And then you're ready to sew your branch onto the stand. So you just take your stand and then position the branch on your stand. I'm going to position it this way and then have the holly on that side of the branch, so you can see how it's more towards the top, just above the magic circle on the stand. And then I'm just going to take my log, go down towards the bottom, and then just make small stitches along the bottom, sewing the stand in place, the log or branch in place. So now you can take and place the claws of the bird onto the branch, and then I took the back tail and used my red colored yarn on the tapestry needle, and then I just kind of put the tail feathers together on the back, and then I took and placed a stitch into the back tail. And then you have the claws in the log the bird is standing on its own, and then the tail kind of helps support it on the back. And I just put a stitch to the opposite side of the stand. And then your bird stands up nicely. And then the only thing you have left to do is just put your holly leaf right here. And then again, I have a separate video tutorial that shows you how to make the Christmas holly leaf and the berries.